A very blessed day to you. Do you realize that if we have a choice between two things, most of us will intrinsically go for the thing that is better? It's human tendency, it's normal human tendency to do that, to want the thing that is better. So how do we know what thing is better? Oftentimes, we base it on our own knowledge and experience. Other times, we rely on people's opinions and feedback. Still, there are those times when we just simply follow what others are doing or choosing. Surely, if majority are choosing it, then it can't be all wrong. And this was exactly what the Israelites did when we read in 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 5. They wanted a human king to rule over them. Why? Well, because they wanted to be like all the other nations. In other words, the other nations had their kings to rule over them. Surely, if the nations were doing that, then it couldn't be all that bad or wrong to also have their own king to rule them. Now, what triggered this demand from the Israelites? The verse we're meditating on gives us the reasons. First, they claim that Saul had grown old. That is, they were afraid that he wouldn't be around much longer. And second, they charged that his sons were unfit to take over him. Why? Because they weren't following in Samuel's ways. Now, this sounds legit, doesn't it? Yet the option they went for, the option that they were demanding, was to have a human king. Well, it did sound legit, but the thing is, they did not take into account that they were not a nation like other nations. They did not consider that all along, God had been their king. He had been their source of provision and protection. He had been guiding them. He had been leading them all this while, through Samuel, that is. The Israelites chose instead to take matters into their own hands, and they demanded a human king to be placed over them. They thought that this was the best and safest option for them. But of course, we know from their history that they have been wrong, terribly wrong. The kings not only did not help them, in fact, most of their kings actually led them away from God. In our own lives, I wonder how we often choose what is the better thing to have or to do. Like the Israelites, we also have a God who is supposed to be our source of provision and protection. A God who tells us to come under his reign and his rule so he can give us his best, so we can receive everything we need for life and for living. Are we choosing God and his will as the better thing to have in our lives? Or are we just like the others in this world, just following what others are having? May God's word remind us to always choose the better things, the things of God and not the things of this world. May God bless you.